Hello and welcome back to Cooking with Lauralee. I am yours truly, Lauralee. It's been a while, but I'm so happy to be back. I've been away just truly taking care of my family. Today I'm here and back to share with you my triple layer cake for Thanksgiving. As I was thinking about ideas and how I wanted this cake to look and represent, several things came to mind, and that was the Holy Trinity, fall, and what Thanksgiving represented. And that was all a combination of the 3 layers: corn muffin, sweet potatoes, and pumpkin. So this is my interpretation. You all know I'm not a baker and I want to challenge myself, so I hope you all enjoy what I've come up with. As always, make it your own. You can change it with apple pie, peaches, or apricots. If you learned anything here today, please be sure to subscribe. This is a collaboration, so please be sure to check out the description with all the channel's information. For my first layer, I'm going to do the Honey Jiffy box. Keep it very similar, but instead of a cup of milk, I'm going to do a cup of buttermilk. I'm also going to add a teaspoon of baking powder just to make sure that it's nice and fluffy like a cake. We'll see how that goes. 3 minutes, and I'm not a cake expert, but I know that warm stuff likes warm stuff and cold stuff likes cold stuff. So all of these ingredients, since it's just cornbread, it was all cold. When you do your cake batter, you should have everything at room temperature. I just wanted to show you what I did here. I see other people, a lot of the bakers do is basically I had turned this over and try to get it to the middle as possible so that this was in the middle. I obviously didn't do it the right way the first time, so I had to cut it several times. But I think after the second time I got it. And I'm just going to put this parchment paper in the bottom. I'm going to butter it up. And I'm going to pour the wet ingredients into the dry ingredients. Now we're just going to put her in here, and then I'm going to let it sit for like 5 to 10 minutes before I put it in the oven. And hopefully we have a nice smooth consistency of cornbread in a cake form. So we got these all buttered up, ready to go. So for the actual cake batter, I'm going to focus on my lavender bread cake, and my lavender bread cake was 3 flours, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, and 1 teaspoon of baking soda. I don't want to make the cakes too big, so what I'm going to do is do a half a cup of flour, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, and then maybe a half of a teaspoon of baking soda. And I'm going to start off with a cup of sweet potatoes, and the same thing for the pumpkin one. So we'll see how that goes. But again, I am exploring with you all, and these are my notes. This is kind of like what I've been doing and thinking and going back and forth. There's more scraps somewhere else, but as I'm making this video, this is what I'm writing down. And so we'll start off with the sweet potatoes. Instead of getting like a real potato, I just figure something easy to do is the potatoes already peeled for you. You just have to microwave them. So I'm going to follow the instructions as they are here, let it cool down, and then start to blend and mix everything in. Here's 1 cup. And this is room temperature butter. One tablespoon Molina Mexican vanilla blend. And to that, I am going to also add a teaspoon of the orange extract. Before we put the eggs and then the flour, we're going to add 1 full tablespoon of cinnamon. Never have enough cinnamon. That's 1/4 of nutmeg, and now 1/4 of cardamom. Add 1 egg at a time. There's 1. Got all the goodness over here. See that right here? We got all that. Scrape that down. There's no sponsorship here, but just to show you guys which are the brands that I used. I used the Molina, and I did 1 tablespoon. McCormick, 1 teaspoon. 1 tablespoon of cinnamon, 1/4 teaspoon of ground cinnamon and nutmeg. Tell me in the comments below, what's your favorite Thanksgiving dish? Let that sit about 5 minutes. Okay guys, I think I'm gonna start off with a half a cup of sugar because I do plan to do a simple syrup. So if I do a cup of sugar and then more simple syrup, I feel like it would be really sweet. So a half a cup. I'm gonna add the flour first, taste it for flavor, and then add actually more sugar if we need to, but I'm gonna add a little at a time. The last one so will be, make sure it is Boris 1/4 cup of vanilla yogurt. You can put mayonnaise too if you want, to make sure it's moist. You know what? I like it, yeah. If you can put a cup of sugar if you want, but I'm not a huge sweet person. Like I said, I'm doing a simple syrup, so that simple syrup will take it to the next sweetness level without overdoing it. I still have some here, but let me see how it fit in here. This will definitely be more than the cornbread, but we'll just try to layer it all in together. Wish me luck, guys. Hey, if all goes wrong, always know that you can just get a box mix. So now for our last cake, this is going to be the pumpkin cake, and we're going to keep everything the same as far as 1 cup of flour, 1.5 cup of flour. And again, this is the cake batter that I use for my lavender a bread cake, and I just cut it in half. Either way, I'm having a lot of fun doing this. So I guess my point is I love these collaborations because I just challenge myself. And baking is not my forte, but I've learned a thing or two. So this is actually fun. Try these in a different order to see if it makes a difference in the cake. Butter and the sugar, make it very soft, then adding the eggs, and then the pumpkin, a little bit of maple syrup, a half a teaspoon of the maple syrup because that goes well with pumpkin, half a teaspoon of the maple syrup extract and the pure orange extract. Well, I'm actually do a half a teaspoon to possibly a teaspoon of the other one. Okay, like I said, I'm experimenting here, so I'm going to do a half a cup of sugar and we'll see where that goes. But again, based on just the smells, this one smells absolutely wonderful. And to this, I'm going to add 1/3 cup of buttermilk again. And I'm going to do a tablespoon of the pumpkin spice. And a cup of pumpkin puree. I love this thing. Look at all the splatter. Just to distinguish, in case I forget or get confused, I'm going to do a little bit of food coloring for the pumpkin, and I don't know how much that was, so I don't know, a teaspoon, I guess. Okay, dudes, I don't know how much that was, but I don't want to overmix this, so I'm gonna leave that alone. Taste is irking me, so let me do a tablespoon of the pumpkin. Should be good, but I'm afraid that it's gonna be missing out on some tastes, and I don't want to do that. And I know I'm gonna do the simple syrup, but it smells wonderful. This was so wonderful. So as you can see, I have my cornbread. I got my cornbread over here. I got my sweet potato over here and my pumpkin. And then I'm experimenting, and I always feel very comfortable with putting extra water just to make sure that it does not dry. Corn will probably be done the quickest. So I'm gonna cook everything here at 350. I'm gonna try 20 to 25 minutes to see where we're at. Oh my gosh, guys, I just cracked an egg and put it in here. Look at the difference in the egg. So hopefully my cake batter won't be too bad. I already have it in the oven and I forgot to add it in. I was getting a call from one of my daughters and I totally forgot to add them in there. So I am actually gonna just go ahead and put this in the oven so that we can see the difference between an egg and with one without the egg. 2 eggs goes into the recipe. I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna add this on top so that we can see the difference between the cake. This is not much, so it shouldn't ruin the cake, but oh gosh. See how nice and shiny that is now? Wish me luck, guys. So this one cooked a little bit before time. I wish I didn't do that, but that's okay. It is dry, and as it's cooling, you can see that it's pulling itself from the pan. So I'm gonna let that cool down and do the simple syrup afterwards. I think this is about 25 minutes. This, because I added more, needs more time, but it took 25 minutes overall. 26 minutes, nice and firm. The recipe for the simple syrup and the truffles will be in an additional video. I did a lot of talking in this video, so it would have been too long to try to add all in one video. Make sure to read the description for further details on the upcoming videos with the truffles and the simple syrup recipe. Guys, I'm actually pretty pleased and surprised with this. I mean, it did get dense and the gluten did start working here, but I thought it was going to be a lot worse. I thought I would have to start again. And of course, I'm short on time, so that wouldn't have been good, but I'm pretty proud of myself. Chicken challenge. Moving on to the next. I'll use this for like a truffle or something. It's too much good stuff here. So I just wanted to share another side of myself. In the background, you'll see several painted canvases, and I do that on my free time when I want to relax. And one of my inspirations is Bob Ross. So these paintings are a Bob Ross inspired tribute, I guess. I used to watch when I was a little girl, and I used to love all the paintings, and got older and kind of started doing this with my kids. And one of my kids is a Bob Ross fan, and so again, just wanted to share some of the very amateur pictures, the very amateur paintings that I do just for fun. And yes, some of these are still a work in progress, but I'm pretty proud of myself. I hope you all try this cake. I really don't understand why I beat myself up so much in my head thinking that this cake was going to come out rubbery or just tough. It was absolutely delicious, and it was dense, but it was no different than any other dense cake that you may have, like a carrot cake or like a chocolate cake. But the half a cup was the best because that simple syrup really just kind of took it to another level and made it better, but not too sweet. So not because I made it, but again, I was pretty proud of myself since I'm not a natural baker. Everything did come together very well. Here in my household, we are all very creative. That turkey is my husband's turkey from the 3rd grade. Cute, isn't it? So we pray for all of you, and we hope you have a safe and happy Thanksgiving. God bless everyone.